Hello and welcome to this review of the GK61. This is the cheapest 60% hot swappable keyboard on the market right now, and there are a lot of features on this keyboard that I will talk about in the next few minutes. Stay tuned. So firstly we talk about the build quality, and I'm surprised to say that for £40 this is really good. It's not the best. It's made of hard plastic. You can see the glossy trim on the side, which doesn't look that nice, but it's what they went for, and it's the cheapest option. So if you don't mind that, well, here you go, there's your case. But there's not really much to say about this anyway, so I'm gonna move on to the more interesting part, which is the features. Now we go to the features, and as you can see we have an instructions manual here that shows us the different layers that you can use. So everything is accessed by the FN key. You've got your arrow keys here, your nav cluster on around here, and your F keys. So FN5 is F5 and FN Alt is your left arrow. That would be your up, down, right arrow. It's pretty basic. It does get a bit confusing sometimes when you're switching from a full-size keyboard like me, but after a week you do get used to it, so you probably won't need this by the end of the first week. But that's the layout. This keyboard also has RGB lighting that you can turn on and off. You can also adjust the speed and the direction of them and everything like that. I'm not really into it. You can go into software to configure it if you want. Another feature is the hot swappability, which is the most important feature, and here's a demonstration of that. And finally, the removable USB Type-C cable at the back, which is braided. Very nice. It's a really nice feature. There are some missing features on this keyboard, like Bluetooth connectivity and height adjustable, so you cannot adjust the height of this keyboard unfortunately, but you kind of have to live with that with the 60%. So now in terms of reliability, I am not sure, but it's a hot swappable keyboard and it's got a removable USB Type-C cable. So if the cable goes, you can just replace that. But these have a 100 times guaranteed swapping rate, if that makes any sense. So anything past that, you may not be able to use this keyboard anymore. Those sockets may break or they may come loose or anything like that, so just beware of that. It's unlikely that you will replace switches 100 times, but since I'm me, I am gonna do that, so I'll see how long this will last. Because it still works, everything here still works, but maybe after 100 swaps something might go wrong here. And I will document that when that happens, but so far it's pretty good. Now in terms of value, this is a really easy one because it's a hot swappable keyboard. I've said that many times now. And it's the cheapest one available in the market. So, to be honest, yes, it's worth it. The software sucks. It didn't work with this keyboard in particular. I couldn't get it to work. But you may have better luck than me. But, I mean, I don't really care about RGB lights anyway, so I don't care about the software experience. But if you do, then maybe look somewhere else. The closest competitor to this keyboard is the GMMK Compact, which is about £30 more, so, and that's got a much better software, but I think this is the value here, so recommending this keyboard because it's got good value. Now, since it's the end of the review, the keyboard also gets a category in terms of its scoring. So the categories are build quality, features, daily performance, reliability, and value. For build quality, it gets a 7. For features, it gets a 6. For daily performance, it gets an 8. For reliability, it gets a 6. And for value, it gets a 7, which is really good. Now for the switches, and there's only 2 things that matter right now with these switches. One is that they are half the price of a Cherry MX Black switch, and the second point is they are also smoother than Cherry MX Blacks. That in itself just sells it for me. It should for anyone really. The sound though is average, it's not the greatest. You'll hear what it sounds like in the typing demonstration. The typing performance is also decent, it's not the best, it's not gonna wow you, it's not gonna be, like a buckling spring experience or even a box royal. It's not that great of a typing experience for this keyboard, for this switch even. But gaming performance is really good. If you find Cherry MX Reds or Gateron Yellows to be too light, then this is the switch you should be trying out. These are really good switches. They have a 4mm travel and a 60-gram actuation point. Now I'm going to rank the switches, and I have a few categories for the switches. There's 5 categories. The first one is smoothness, which in this case it gets a 6. Weighting, which the switch gets an 8. Sound, 5. Typing performance, 6. And gaming performance would be 8. So those are the final scores for the switches. So the final score for the GK61 is 68 out of 100, whilst the Gateron Black switches get a 66 out of 100. Now, if these don't make sense, I will clarify how these scorings work, but if you do know, just comment it down below and help out the others if they don't. But I will launch a clarification video for you if you don't get it. But those are the final scores for these, for the keyboard and the switches. Now, as mentioned, it's the typing demonstration of me typing on this keyboard.